Your dog doesn't see you the way you think. Have you ever wondered what your dog truly sees when it looks into your eyes? Many believe we're nothing more than the one who feeds them, plays with them, or spoils them too often. But science has revealed something far more touching. Inside that small brain, there's a region dedicated solely to remembering your face, no one else's. To your dog, you're not just human. You're home, safety, and family. And once you understand what it really feels in those moments, you'll never look at your dog the same way again. And wait until you hear reason number 5, the one that has brought millions of dog owners to tears because of their dog's unshakable loyalty. Let's dive in. Your dog's first secret may surprise you. Number 1. The face they never forget. When your dog looks at you, it isn't just glancing the way we look at a passing stranger. Inside its brain, there is a special map, a private gallery, where only one portrait hangs yours. Think about that for a moment. Among all the people it meets in its lifetime, the neighbors, the groomer, even family members, it is your face that lights up its inner world. Isn't it astonishing to realize you're the landmark in its memory? The home it never wants to lose sight of. Science shows dogs have a brain region that responds only to the human face, and for them, yours is the most powerful of all. Imagine if you could see through your dog's eyes every time you bend down after a long day. It doesn't just see wrinkles, tiredness, or gray hair. It sees safety. It sees, I'm home. That's why those quiet moments when you meet its gaze feel almost sacred. And here's something even more striking. Dogs don't confuse us for their own kind. They know we're different. Yet instead of pulling away, they build a bridge that crosses species, a loyalty no distance or time can erase. You may have noticed it after years apart, one look, and the bond is reborn instantly. But what happens when that gaze goes deeper beyond recognition into emotion? That's where the second truth lies, and it will make you wonder if your dog knows you better than you know yourself. Number 2. The silent mirror of your emotions. Have you ever tried to hide sadness behind a smile, only to notice your dog staring at you with eyes that seem to see right through the mask? That's because, for your dog, your body is like an open book, written in scents, footsteps, and even the rhythm of your breathing. While people may miss the subtle signs, your dog's nose and heart never do. Isn't it haunting to think that even when you say, I'm fine, your dog already knows the storm you're holding back? Scientists have found that dogs can detect changes in cortisol, the stress hormone, just by smelling your sweat. Machines may need wires and sensors, but your dog only needs a single inhale. Imagine that while you're busy convincing the world you're strong, your dog has already curled closer, pressing its head against you, as if to say, I've got you. In that moment, it becomes both your doctor and your silent friend. And here's the twist. Dogs don't judge. They don't ask for explanations or demand you get better. They simply anchor themselves to your side until the storm passes. That loyalty has saved countless lives, owners battling depression, illness, or loss, because a dog's quiet presence was enough to keep them from falling apart. But what happens when loyalty goes beyond comfort, when it turns into protection, even in the face of danger? That's the third truth, and it may leave you questioning whether your dog's devotion has limits at all. Number 3. The shield against the storm. Think about the last time thunder cracked the sky, or fireworks rattled the night. Where did your dog go? Straight to you, trembling, pressing its body close as if you were the safest place in the universe. Some might think that's weakness, but look closer. In the wild, animals seek the strongest shelter when danger looms. For your dog, you are that shelter, its fortress made of flesh and heartbeat. Isn't it powerful to realize that in its world, You are not just protection, you are survival. Behaviorists call this a secure base effect, the same bond a child feels with a parent. But science doesn't capture the raw poetry of it. Picture a small child clutching their mother's hand in a storm. That's what your dog is doing every time thunder rolls, whispering without words. If I stay near you, I'm safe. And here's the shock. Dogs know you're weaker, slower, even fragile compared to them. Yet they choose dependence, not dominance. They lower their guard so you can feel strong. What does this say about loyalty? It says your dog willingly exchanges its instinct to fight for the comfort of your presence. That choice is profound. It means your value isn't measured by strength, but by the calm your soul gives. But if storms reveal dependence, what about the moments when silence falls and your dog still chooses you above all others? That secret is hidden in the next truth, and it may explain why once a dog chooses you, it never lets go. Number 4. The one they choose for life. In a house full of people, laughter, and busy footsteps, have you noticed your dog still finds one person to follow most closely? It may play with everyone, greet each visitor, but deep down it bonds with one heart above the rest. Isn't it mysterious why out of all the hands that feed it and all the voices that call its name, your dog chooses you as its anchor? Studies show dogs form what scientists call a primary attachment figure. Yet no research can truly capture the moment your dog rests its head on your knee, ignoring everyone else as if declaring, "You are my forever." That loyalty is not random. It's earned in silent rituals, the way you sit beside it, when it's sick, the way you listen, without words, the way your scent tells it that everything will be okay. For your dog, that's enough to crown you as its chosen one. And once that choice is made, it's unshakable. Dogs do not trade their loyalty. Unlike humans, they don't weigh options or drift away when times get hard. They carve your name into their hearts and guard it until their last breath. But what happens when this bond goes beyond loyalty and turns into something almost supernatural, when your dog senses danger or illness before you even know it yourself? That's the 5th truth, and it has left millions of owners in tears of awe and gratitude. Number 5. The nose that saves lives. There are stories whispered in hospitals and living rooms, stories that sound almost like miracles. A dog presses its nose against a spot on its owner's body, refusing to move until doctors later find cancer hidden deep inside. Another nudges, frantically whining and pawing just moments before a seizure strikes. Isn't it overwhelming to think that while machines worth millions can miss the signs, your dog's humble nose catches them in seconds? Science confirms this wonder. Dogs can detect changes in human cells, in breath, in sweat molecules invisible to us. But to your dog, it isn't science. It doesn't know the word cancer or diabetes. All it knows is this: something inside you is wrong, and it must stay close until you are safe. Picture it, your dog sitting vigil at your side, through the long night, eyes heavy but unwilling to close, as if its very presence could shield you from harm. That isn't instinct alone. That is devotion written in every heartbeat. And here's the part that breaks even the toughest hearts. Dogs don't do this for reward or recognition or applause. They do it because, in their world, your life is the only treasure worth guarding. But what about when the danger isn't illness or storms, but the subtle shifts in your everyday life, the smallest change in routine that reveals just how deeply woven into you your dog has become? That's the 6th truth, and it may be the most intimate of all. Number 6. The keeper of your smallest habits. Have you ever noticed how your dog seems to know when something in your day feels off, even before you've said a word? You wake up later than usual, your footsteps drag heavier across the floor, or you hold your keys just a little differently. Instantly, your dog is alert ears, perked tail stiff, watching you as if it has just discovered a secret. Isn't it haunting to realize that while the world overlooks these tiny details, your dog memorizes everyone as if they were sacred verses of your shared story? For your dog, you are a pattern, a rhythm. The way you tie your hair, the way your shoes sound on the pavement, the sigh you release when the day has worn you thin. These are not just habits, they are signals, and your dog reads them with more devotion than any diary could hold. Imagine what it means that even your smallest gestures have become part of another creature's heartbeat. This is why dogs feel so deeply woven into our lives. They don't just adapt to our schedules. They merge with them, bending their own time to match ours. They wake when we wake, rest when we rest, and carry the invisible threads of our routines like a silent promise: I am with you in every moment. But what happens when this sensitivity goes even further, when your dog begins to sense your intentions even before you act? That seventh truth will leave you wondering if your dog knows your soul better than you do. Number 7. The reader of intentions. Have you ever noticed how your dog seems to move before you even speak? You sigh just once, and suddenly it's by your side. You glance at the door, and it's already waiting. You think of resting, and somehow it has curled up before you've even sat down. Isn't it eerie to wonder, does your dog read your mind, or is it simply reading you better than you read yourself? Science calls this anticipatory behavior a way dogs use microsignals, tiny shifts in breath posture, or even the flicker of an eye to predict what comes next. But let's be honest, it feels far more magical than a term in a textbook. It feels like living with a silent translator of your inner world, a being so tuned into your heart that words become unnecessary. Think of it this way: your dog is like a musician playing along to your song, catching every note before it lands. To others, your sigh is nothing. To your dog, it is a signal: prepare comfort. To others, a quick glance means nothing. To your dog, it means we're going somewhere, be ready. This deep anticipation makes them emotional anchors, steadying the household with quiet certainty. But there's a darker twist, because if your dog can read honesty in your smallest actions, it can also sense deception. That leads us to the 8th truth. 1. Most people never realize your dog knows when you are lying. Number 8. The Truth Detector. Have you ever tried to act cheerful when inside you were breaking, only to find your dog staring as if it already knew the truth? Dogs may not understand every word, but they are masters of tone, breath, and vibration. Isn't it unsettling to realize that when you fake a laugh, your dog hears the crack in your voice louder than the joke itself? Researchers have shown that dogs pick up on the tiniest inconsistencies between what we say and what we feel. To them, a forced smile has a different scent. A false scolding carries no weight, and a fake, "I'm fine," feels hollow. While people may accept your mask, your dog gently tears it away with nothing more than quiet presence. And here's the most surprising part: they don't judge you for lying. They don't pull back in resentment. Instead, they adjust. They move closer when you're weak, stay calmer when you pretend to be strong, as if they are silently saying, "I see the truth, and I'm here anyway." This kind of loyalty is rare in the human world. Imagine living with someone who knows when you're lying and still chooses to love you without condition. Isn't that the kind of trust we all dream of? But the story doesn't end there. Because while they can sense deception, they can also detect the silent storms of stress raging inside your body. That's the 9th truth. and the way dogs respond will leave you breathless. Number 9. The storm inside. Have you ever come home from a long, exhausting day, saying nothing at all? Yet your dog was already waiting at the door, tail wagging softly, eyes searching your face as if it knew everything. That's because your body carries storms, even when your lips stay silent, and your dog can feel every drop of rain before it falls. Isn't it remarkable that while you struggle to hide stress from others, your dog reads it in the air like thunder before lightning? Science proves this gift. When stress floods your body, cortisol levels rise, and your scent shifts ever so slightly. Machines may need needles and tests, but your dog only needs one breath to know. And what does it do with this knowledge? It doesn't run away. It doesn't complain. Instead, it presses closer, lays a paw on your knee, or leans its head into your chest, as if its warmth alone could scatter the storm clouds. Picture it. The world is falling apart outside, but inside a quiet creature has decided to be your anchor. That's more than instinct. That's love choosing to stay steady when you cannot. But here's where the story deepens. Because beyond stress and comfort, dogs are fluent in a language we rarely master ourselves, the subtle signals of the body. And the 10th truth about how they read our every gesture may leave you wondering if words were ever needed at all. Number 10. The language beyond words. Have you ever raised a hand, tilted your head, or even just shifted your eyes, and your dog instantly understood what you meant? Dogs are fluent in a language we humans rarely notice, the orchestra of gestures, glances, and rhythms that make up our daily lives. Isn't it extraordinary that without a single word, your dog can read your intention like an open book? Researchers say dogs evolved to be masters of human body language. But let's set the science aside for a moment. Imagine you and your dog standing in a crowded room. To everyone else, it's noise chaos. Yet one nod from you, one flick of your eyes, and your dog knows exactly what to do. That silent bond forged without sound is like two souls breathing in sync. This is what makes dogs unlike any other creature. They bend their lives around ours, waking when we wake, resting when we rest, and shaping themselves to our stories until it feels like they were written into us from the beginning. Wherever you go, they follow. If you stop, they stop. If you fall, they stay. And that is the final truth. Beyond science, beyond survival, your dog simply wants to love you without condition, without end. After all the studies, the miracles, the unshakable loyalty, the message is simple to your dog. You are not just human. You are its home, its family, its world. Every wag of the tail, every quiet sigh at your feet, every glance into your eyes is its way of writing, "I love you" in a language deeper than words. So tonight, when your dog curls close, remember you are chosen. And as long as you stay, it will spend every heartbeat proving that choice was forever. If this touched your heart, don't let the journey end here. Subscribe now, and together, let's keep uncovering the beautiful truths that dogs have been trying to tell us all along.